All right. What is up, everybody? Today's topic is, can the New York Giants make the postseason? Let's get right into it. I'm going to start making short videos now. So drop in the comment section or message me. You guys know me, what you want me to make a video about. My next video is going to be why Jalen Hurts is doing so well. But can the Giants make the playoffs? Let's stick to this topic. The last 5 weeks, 1-3-1 for the Giants. They got 3 losses and a tie, only one win since the bye week. And I'm saying since the bye week because I think that's when everything started to spiral off for them. That's when Xavier McKinney, the leader of that defense, although he's only 23 years old, he was a big leader in that locker room. He was the defensive play caller for Wink Martindale on the field for him. So now that he's out, since he's been out, since the bye week, since his little blur, he had a little accident on a quad, and now he's been basically out since the bye week. So since Xavier McKinney's been out, Julian Love's been calling the plays, and Julian Love, he needs to step it up. Obviously, he had that blur last week against the Philadelphia Eagles, but that doesn't even matter. The Philadelphia Eagles still would have won. Let's go over since Xavier McKinney has been out, this has been terrible. 31 points to the Lions, 28 points to the Dallas Cowboys. Taylor Heineke of the Washington Commanders threw for 275 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. And then we all know what happened last week. The Eagles put up 48 points on the Giants defense. So without Xavier McKinney, this Giants defense and this whole entire Giants team as a whole has flat out struggled. And we know Leonard Williams has been hurt all year. He's been inconsistent on the field. Obviously, the injuries have played a factor into that. Olajari, he's just coming back, and the injuries, obviously, they're showing a little bit on the field. He's showing some promise, but he just got back. We can't expect him to make an impact just like that, coming back from that much of an injury. And then Thibodeau isn't playing how we all thought he would have been playing, although he is starting to make an impact with the rushes, but we need to see more. And Xavier McKinney was the glue of that defense. He was the guy who connected everybody in the huddle. He was the one who was leading the charge. He was helping Wink. He was helping Wink call plays that he cannot call now on defense because he does not have his stud Xavier McKinney out there. But all in all, on the offensive side of the ball, they're struggling as well because Saquon, he was a train. He was a wrecking force to start the season, and now he is just not. Saquon Barkley, I mean, since the last 4 games, he's only got 152 rushing yards total and only 2 rushing yards. I mean, 2 rushing touchdowns total in the last 4 games. That's a problem. 2.9 yards per carry in those last 4 games, and they haven't got a win. That's a problem. We know this team was built around 2 things specifically when they were having their magical overachieving run. It was Saquon Barkley pounding the football. Obviously, Daniel Jones not turning the ball over as well, but he hasn't been turning the ball over as of late, but it was Saquon. It was Saquon. That was the big story. He's on his way to win comeback player of the year. And then the defense on the other side of the ball. But predominantly, it was Saquon Barkley. And that was the reason that the New York Giants, that was the biggest factor on why the Giants started the season the way they started. And now that he's the biggest factor in why the Giants are not producing wins in these last 4 games. But they're still in a playoff spot. They still got that 7th spot as of today. They're right ahead of, listen, there's a couple teams that the New York Giants need to worry about. It's the Seattle Seahawks, the Detroit Lions, and obviously the Washington Commanders, who they can take a spot ahead of them if they beat them this week. But they control their own destiny. That's the biggest point of this video. The New York Giants control their own destiny. The factors on their team that have been factors need to be factors these next 4 weeks. Saquon Barkley needs to be a factor. Julian Love needs to step it up and be a factor. Xavier McKinney's probably going to be out this week, but when he does come back, he needs to be a factor. And this is a must-win game because when you got when you got Minnesota coming up, you got Philadelphia again coming up. It's going to be a hard test for the New York Giants. So listen, the Lions, they're playing the Jets this week. That's a huge plus. Hopefully the Lions can take an L to that rough Jets defense, and maybe Magic Mike White's got some more magic. And then, listen, Seattle, they're at 49ers this week. That's going to be rough. We know Brock Purdy, he ain't no scrub. Kyle Shanahan's a genius, and this defense is the best defense in football. And the Jets are a close second, and they're playing the Detroit Lions. So it's a huge plus that the two teams that the Giants need to worry about are playing studs on defense this week. And the Giants, the other team they have to worry about that's ahead of them that they can steal that 6th spot from, the Washington Commanders, they're playing them this week. Go out there and beat them. You tied with them, but now beat them. Saquon needs to have a big game. Danny Jones needs to be a dual threat quarterback, because when he's not a dual threat quarterback, the Giants' offense stinks. He's a dual threat quarterback. I'll go over it right now why he is a dual threat quarterback. So Danny Jones and Daboll, both of them together, they're a huge package deal. They work very well together. Since Daboll ripped into him in the sideline, Danny Jones has recreated himself as an NFL quarterback. But they both need to trust each other. The defenses know that Saquon is the heart and soul of this offense. But Danny Jones, they need to use that dual threat. They need to use his legs. Because in the 7 wins that the Giants do have, Danny Jones has 169 rushing attempts, and he has a completion percentage. 169 passing attempts, and over a 70% completion percentage. And then in the games that they have lost and tied, the other 6 games, he has a 59.2 completion percentage, and he has 205 passing attempts. So in wins, the 7 wins they have, he has less passing attempts, 169 attempts, and a 70.4 completion percentage. So in wins, he throws the ball less, and he has a better completion percentage. But when they lose, he throws the ball more. Obviously, when they play from behind, he's going to be throwing the ball more. But it also tells me that they need to use his legs more. Because if you did notice too, in the beginning of the year, Danny Jones was rushing the ball a lot more. Lately, he hasn't been rushing the ball. Against the Philadelphia Eagles, I think he only ran the ball 2 times. He's fast. He's quick. He's got legs. He ain't no Lamar Jackson, but he's still pretty freaking quick. So Danny Jones needs to use his legs a little bit more, but that's also on Daboll to get his legs involved. But listen, they need this win because, listen, the Vikings and the Eagles are coming up. That's 2. We all know how the Eagles play. We all know that the Eagles just blew them out. 48 points. Jesus Christ. Minnesota Vikings, very good team. One of the best teams in football. They already clinched their division. That's how good they are this year. Justin Jefferson's a beast. Kirk Cousins a beast. I could tell you as a Jets fan, they're a good team. Not just a good team, an elite team. So that's going to be a tough one for the Giants. And then another tough one for the Eagles. So that's 2 games that the Giants are going to be expected to lose, probably by at least a touchdown. And then the Colts, as much as I hate Jeff Saturday getting that job, he's done a good job with this team. And the Colts are going to be a challenge too. But let's keep it short and let's keep it simple. The factors just need to be factors. Saquon Barkley needs to show up. His neck has been affecting him, but with 4 games left, he needs to show up. This is a must-win game with the tougher teams coming up, and they control their own destiny. And you want to take a spot above Washington and get yourself in that 6th spot, then win this one. Saquon needs to show up. Another factor that needs to be a factor, Julian Love. I mentioned it before. Hiccup last week doesn't matter. It does not matter anymore. Since he's been the leader in the huddle, the defense has just been flat. It's flat out true. But he needs to change that, and the Giants defense needs to change that. And then finally, Danny Jones and Daboll, they need to just work together. Work together, Get the offense going, because if they're not working together and Daboll and Jones aren't doing good and Jones isn't getting the ball into guys like Darius Slayton's hand, who I didn't really bring up, Darius Slayton has been going off for the Giants lately. He's got over 600 receiving yards. They need to get him involved more. I know they have no weapons, but they need to get Slayton is their only weapon, really. So get him the ball. Open up the run game for Saquon. Help him out. But that starts with Brian Daboll and Daniel Jones. And also the offensive line. Obviously. But that's the biggest cliche. The offensive line. Every week. The Giants, no. The whole Giants fan community knows. Offensive line shows up. Giants do well. Offensive line stinks. The Giants stink. It's like that one graph that's been going around. F around, find out. F around O-line, Danny Jones is going to find out. Don't let Danny Jones find out. Give Danny Jones time. Brian Daboll, let him use his legs. Hopefully Saquon can toughen it up a little bit. Julian Love can fix his hiccups. Get the defense on track. Olajari's back. He's been back the last 2 or 3 weeks, I think. So hopefully he can start making an impact. Thibodeau, he's going to need to start stepping it up. But yeah, it starts this week. It starts with a win this week, because if the Giants don't win this week, I said it last week on my podcast, but I'm going to say it in this little video. If the Giants do not win this week, they're done. Playoff hopes goodbye. Now listen, Detroit, they're at the Jets. I mean, they're not. Yeah, they're at the Jets this week. So hopefully Detroit can fall, because the Jets, I know that the Detroit is favorited, but the Jets, they're a better football team. They should win that game. And then the Seahawks, the other team that they got to worry about that's right behind them, 49ers are arguably one of the best teams in football, if not the best. They have the best defense in football. Arguably one of the best, if not the best, head coaches in football in Kyle Shanahan. So good luck there, Seattle. Giants, this is a huge week. Get a win, and the 3 teams that you worry about could possibly all get a loss. And that's huge, considering you got Minnesota and Philadelphia coming up on the schedule. And the Colts are still going to be a tough opponent. So go out there and get this must-win game against Washington. And then hopefully Detroit and Seattle can lose. And that's it. That's all I got. Listen, drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know which video you want me to do next. I'm going to do Jalen Hurts and why I think he is undoubtedly the MVP this year. It's going to be a fun one. But yeah, that's all I got. Thank you. Like and subscribe.
Batman.